Welcome, everybody. This is the No Politics Podcast. I'm your host, Faking No Moons, with my co-host, Working Genius. We're here today to bring you a great episode. We're back to our normal conditions. We're going to do a recap for the divisional round NFL playoffs. But due to me being sick, we decided to just save it for this episode. We're going to not only predict for the next round, but we'll elaborate our thoughts on the matchups from Saturday and Sunday. But we also got a lot of wrestling to talk about, so we're going to jump into that. Some UK tournament, Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live, the A, the B show. We're also going to talk about UFC a little bit because BJ Penn, I was talking about him last episode, and he had a comeback match that was kind of scary.
Kind of not a comeback match.
Kind of not a comeback match. It's sad, but other than that, let's just jump into the WWE first because there's a lot to talk about. UK tournament, quick recap. Tyler Bate, the 19-year-old, he won. He was pretty impressive. He's young. I think he's the youngest champ ever in WWE history, like that ever held any like regular belt. You know what I mean? How you feel about that?
That's awesome. I mean, it's a good start for that title. I didn't get to catch the whole thing because I was just so backed up with the UK tournament being scheduled during the playoff games. That really kind of threw me off. And so I was only able to catch the first round, but it started out slow for me, but I enjoyed the matches. They were all pretty solid matches, and you just spoiled it for me. But I still look forward to watching it and seeing these guys.
Yeah, there was a few guys like throughout the first round, the second round, and even the final four and the finals. What that like had people that I was impressed with, especially the finals. You know what I'm saying? Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. I'm spoiling it again,
keep
but
going.
you know what? If you're late, you should have already watched it. Oh well, it's already been a couple of days. Wolfgang was a guy I was impressed with.
I liked
He's big. He's pretty dope. Who else? Mark Andrews, Connors, the guy Connors, he's pretty cool. Jordan Devlin, he took on a bad guy role. I didn't think he was going to do that when they were referencing him to training with Finn Balor, but hey, it was cool. He got a funny win in the first round, and then I think he went at it with Tyler Bate in the second round, which was pretty cool.
It's all right that Jordan Devlin is going to be a heel because so is Finn Balor, calling it.
Finn Balor actually made an appearance at the UK tournament as well. He has some beard action going on, so he's looking healthy to me. The music went off and the crowd was in it, and he kind of went up on the ring and the ropes, and his shoulders were looking good. And
You're
I think
really checking him out, huh?
the Royal Rumble. I think he might be in the Royal Rumble. I don't know. That's the question. Will he be there or the night after at Monday Night Raw? Who knows? But I think you think so, right?
I think he's going to be healthy. I think he's returning. I think he's going to be here, calling it.
Okay.
And I keep saying it.
We gotta talk about Raw, but before we talk about
do
Raw,
we have to talk about Raw? Because you know how I feel about that.
I mean, we're gonna talk about the main important stuff that happened on Raw because there was some good stuff. Don't front like there wasn't.
I mean, like 12 minutes worth or something.
All right. But okay, let's just jump to Raw then right now. Okay, let's just go.
Oh man! All right, start us off.
You trying to shit on Raw?
Go for it. Start us off, please.
Well, apparently I was shitting on Raw because I was sick. I had the runs, so I couldn't catch too much of it. No. On a serious note, though, Raw started off. How did Raw start off? Okay, everybody came out.
Jimmy Snuka.
Well, Jimmy Snuka.
They had a Jimmy Snuka.
That's where we got to start.
Little
first,
thing,
of course. R.I.P. Jimmy Snuka. Wow. I mean, let me say a little about Jimmy Snuka. When I was a kid, like 5 years old, maybe 4, when I thought about wrestling before I really watched it or was like a big fan of it, there was a couple guys that I knew who they were by their name just because of wrestling, even though I never physically watched them wrestle. It was Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, and Ric Flair, and Roddy Piper, and Macho Man. Those were like the 5 guys. And Jimmy Snuka, man, I never forget him like just jumping off the cage and all that. That's crazy. Like for him to pass away, he was old and like the circumstances he passed away on was crazy. But all in all, let's say rest in peace, Jimmy Snuka. I don't know if you want to express your thoughts on Jimmy Snuka
Uh,
passing away.
nah, growing up, I didn't know too much about Jimmy Snuka. Like I had heard the name, similar to you, but I had never really seen him. But I second your thoughts. Rest in peace, Jimmy Snuka. No matter the
Yeah, yeah.
circumstances, no matter what's going on, you never like to see someone pass. You know.
Word. So other than that, rest in peace, Jimmy Snuka. Moment of silence. And let's jump into it. All right, so starting on Raw, we have Roman Reigns. He came out to the ring. He opened it up. They mentioned the shark cage for Jericho at the Royal Rumble. Reigns started talking about how no one could beat him in a fair fight and basically just going off. All of a sudden, Paul Heyman comes out and he starts talking about Brock Lesnar, which they had referenced Brock Lesnar was coming to WWE to Raw this week. So everybody was like, okay, Paul Heyman's there. Where's Brock? Right? So then Brock Lesnar, then all of a sudden, Paul Heyman talks about Goldberg isn't here because people were chanting Goldberg. Goldberg, Goldberg. So Chris Jericho comes out and Kevin Owens and then all of a sudden, fucking, they're interrupted by Seth Rollins. And basically, Seth Rollins is interrupted by Braun Strowman. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits. And then Sami Zayn jumps in the ring. And out of nowhere, jumps on Braun Strowman. Everybody starts brawling. They start double teaming Braun Strowman. Brock Lesnar comes in. He kind of cleans house. He goes at it with Sami Zayn, which was different, seeing them interact. You know, how'd you feel about the big start to Raw?
I thought it was a dope opening. The one thing I did not like was them having Strowman look like a coward. Like to this point, Strowman hasn't backed down from anyone. I didn't like when he
Yeah,
got up on the apron, stared down Brock, and then decided to get down from the apron. They could have booked that so much better. All they had to really do was have Strowman step into the ring face to face with Brock, and then have like Owens and Jericho come in and start hitting Brock, and have Rollins and Reigns start hitting Strowman, and before they get to fight, like have them stare down, have them get into a stare
yeah.
down, and then just have the
They could
other
have.
guys, hit them and they never actually fight. That's how you could have booked it, and neither of them look like a coward.
Yep. Yeah, you're correct. You're right because you're touching on the fact that they should have let more people touch each other up more and interact with each other. Like they interacted, but not all of them went at each other the same way. Like specifically, Owens and Jericho went at Rollins and Reigns. Really didn't really go at Brock Lesnar or anything like that. But Brock Lesnar did suplex them,
I mean,
all of
and he
them,
F5 the shit out of Reigns. So
and then mainly he was going at Reigns, and then he tried to come at Braun Strowman, and he had a nice moment with Sami Zayn, which that was different. At least they touched
I,
up. You know
I,
what
I
I mean?
did like that. For some reason,
You didn't like
I
it?
said I did like that. For
Oh,
some
you did.
reason, it was just such a cool moment seeing Zayn like backed into that corner and
Yeah,
like the crowd
and
getting
he's the
behind
guy. He's
him.
been going at freaking Strowman. He's freaking the underdog from the underground, and he fights. So that was cool.
Yeah, I definitely
But
enjoyed that.
all in all, I guess that was a very high moment. And then we go into Enzo and Cass facing Jinder Mahal and
And then
Rusev,
we
which,
just
if anybody's been listening for the past couple weeks, we've had issues with this rivalry. But Enzo doesn't have the wheelchair this week. So he comes out and they start talking trash, and all in all, it was a regular, trash match.
we go from that high and then nosedive into Enzo and Cass and Rusev and Jinder Mahal.
Followed up by Davari versus Lindsay Dorado.
Hold on, wow! I'm really impressed that you just ran through that like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. Not
And
wasting
then
no time.
then the dope match that came up next. was Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Sheamus and
Wait,
Finn
hold
Balor.
on. You didn't even say a thing about the cruiserweight match.
Nah, why? You already
No,
know.
I'm just
Yeah,
shocked
it
here.
was like, Austin Aries was out. Wow, that was just
Wow,
but
yeah, yeah, that
but
was the
other
best
than
part about
that,
that match.
yeah, other than that,
Get into the good one. Get into the good one.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson should be the WWE Tag Team Champions for Monday Night Raw.
And we spoke about this. I remember texting you right before, and I said to you, I feel like they need to put the titles on them because if you book them to lose here, and then they should be out of the title picture, and there's nobody else really in the title picture. So like you need them to win here, and you said to me, I have a feeling they're gonna win the tag titles tonight, and I seconded that. I was like, I feel the same way for some reason. Like they're just gonna put the titles on them because, like I said, it's weird to just, sometimes you just feel it. Like either they had to win or something fishy had to happen for them to really justify this, or else the club should be out of the title picture for good. So I had a weird feeling like this would be the night that they would win. And I know that means nothing saying it after the fact, but you got to trust us. We got text messages as proof. But that's just how I felt on it. And you actually agreed, and you said you had that same weird feeling. And if you saw the match, you know how that ended. They Anderson and Gallows should be the
They
tag
teased it,
champions right now.
and I feel the WWE universe is behind them as well, and they're gonna you know agree with them getting the belts if they get the belts soon. The reason why I felt they were gonna get the belt was because the belts, the titles, was because I got the notification that they were having the match, like if it was going to be a main part of Raw. So I was like, no, WWE, they've switched the titles around just to do it on Monday Night Raw. Maybe not give them the big pay-per-view win, but give them that Monday Night Raw, win, pump the crowd up, something like that. But all in all, it was an entertaining match. It had close call, Sheamus knocked out the referee and the club went to work. They that was a dope freaking match. I want to see more of it now. And maybe at the Royal Rumble they'll get a title shot. And who knows if they win it before the Rumble, around the at the Rumble, or maybe even after. Hopefully it's no later than the Rumble. That'd be cool. San Antonio's gonna be big. Royal Rumble's gonna be big. That's why the opening segment was dope. Think of all those guys in the same ring with Undertaker and Smackdown, you know, wrestlers. That's gonna be awesome. But moving on, Michael Cole introduces the package for Jimmy Snuka, and it was a touching moment. Dope highlights, just amazing. And then we go backstage and we see Sami Zayn talking with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Talking about like that was pretty funny.
This might have been my favorite part of the
Yeah.
entire show.
And he was like, "Oh, you work this, you work that," and Roman Reigns, clean up, Mr. Clean, you gonna clean up? And I'm not. All right. And he put his fist out. That was cool.
Yeah, the I love that they just turned Sami Zayn into like this. Like he just loves the Shield now. Like he wanted to be in it. He wanted
Yeah.
to be it so bad.
Right.
And Reigns, I think he said something like he's crazier than Ambrose, some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was just funny. It was one of my favorite moments of an
Man.
otherwise lackluster show.
Yeah. I mean, I was sick on Monday, man. So for me to even catch that much of Raw was, me
A
putting a
blessing.
lot of effort because,
A
like, I caught
blessing
the
in
stomach
disguise.
flu, and my daughter had it around Saturday. So, I was off on the weekend. I was taking care of her, and I got really sick. But I did catch most of the first hour around the Charlotte point where she was talking. I kind of fell asleep. But I woke back up.
You fell asleep
It was
at a good
just
point.
sickness,
That was a good point to fall asleep.
Oh, okay. I can't even argue with you this week.
You timed
I
that
was
really
so
well.
sick. I can't even argue with you this week about it. But
That's a blessing in disguise.
after that segment with Sami Zayn, we have Rich Swann versus Tony Nese, which Neville comes and jumps from the crowd and attacks Rich Swann, so the match never gets started. Then Tony Nese starts getting it in and trying to beat up Swann too. It was a cool little moment, all in all. But it didn't like pop me. I wasn't like, oh my god. So how do you feel about it?
I feel like this recap isn't going to be a great one, but only because it wasn't a very good Raw. So you can't blame us for this. All these moments were they just kind of were there.
Yeah.
And so, fortunately for you, we're flying through this, the listeners.
Good.
So
good.
This is going to be one of the first weeks we get to fly through Raw, and
Raw
so
kind of felt like that this week. You know what? I would love to have Raw 2 hours because yesterday I was feeling a little better, which Tuesday, the day after Monday, I was feeling better, and I got through Smackdown like nothing, live. And I was like, damn, I didn't even feel sick after taking a nap. So, man, I mean, I always say I'm Mr. Raw, you're Mr. Smackdown, but, this is only the beginning of this podcast. There's a lot more weeks, a lot more years and episodes. And the way SmackDown's going, SmackDown might be taking the reins because SmackDown was great this week. So, good thing we are going through this thing quick.
SmackDown healed your sickness.
SmackDown healed.
She was like, I watched SmackDown and I didn't even feel sick no more.
Right? Straight up.
Yep.
Straight up.
That's what it does. Tune into the A show.
But Neville cuts a promo on Rich Swann backstage. Who cares? New Day comes out. They enter the Battle Royal, the Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view. That's another team. And that's cool. They're gonna be in the big brawl for it all. And they said they'll share the belt, sort of like Jericho. But all in all, Titus O'Neil interrupts and he starts saying he wants to replace one of them, and Big E and him get into a match. And he loses.
Boring.
And we all knew that. Who cares? Yep. Like I also was saying, SmackDown slowly, starting to... No, they have been, killing Raw. But this was a part where I fell asleep through Charlotte's... whole speech. I heard her going yapping in the back, but I was just really trying to rest my brain and my body because I wasn't feeling too good. So, did you catch what she was saying? What she was popping?
I caught it.
What was the Queen saying?
It just kind of dragged a little bit. Like, it dragged a little bit. It was a long segment for a segment that nothing really happened. It just dragged. I mean, I know they like to let Charlotte go out there and just talk her shit and stuff like that, but this segment wasn't her best promo. I feel like I remember her saying some okay things where I was like, that was funny a little bit, but for the most part, it just kind of dragged. I like the way she handled the crowd early on, and then Bayley comes out. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
The whole thing was just she was bringing up like pictures of Bayley when Bayley was younger, meeting wrestlers, and poems that Bayley was writing when she was younger about how she wanted to be a wrestler, and just kind of trying to shit on her. And it was just kind of, I don't know, it was like a weak little angle to take. But then Bayley comes out.
I saw that, Raw also mentioned Nia Jax attacked Sasha Banks when she was trying to go through a test to get cleared to come back.
They did. It was a quick little thing. They were showing Sasha Banks like pre-Raw, I guess, like earlier in the day, getting, running the ropes, and out of nowhere, Nia Jax comes in. It's just, I believe she did something similar to the other day where she just takes out her leg and just brutal. That actually entertained
in the
me.
building training, trying to get cleared. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck
it was like that. It entertained
it's on
me.
wherever I see you.
Yep, exactly. It entertained me. And then everyone kind of just comes in the ring and stops her. And that was that.
Okay, and then
And as
after
far as the
that,
Bailey,
after
as far as the
Charlotte,
Bailey coming out, she comes out and she does her. I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed
yeah,
to have a dream and that kind of thing. And
okay.
then she says like 3 poems or some shit. I don't,
Bailey really did that?
yeah, I mean it was cute.
Isn't
If you're a
Bailey?
fan of Bailey, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that was
Excuse
nice,
me,
Bailey.
Bailey. Isn't she your girl?
It's, yikes.
Kinda.
No, I mean I'm a fan of her. And like she's sweet and like I like to see her succeed and I like to get behind her, but just this I don't know.
I
It
know
was just a
Charlotte's your girl
weak
though
little
more. I
segment.
forgot. I almost forgot. You've been repping Charlotte for a minute.
I've been repping Charlotte, but I wasn't impressed with her yet either, to be honest.
Yeah. All right.
I felt
Moving
good for
on.
Bailey though.
Moving on. What happened after that? Cedric Alexander versus Brian Kendrick.
Yeah. I believe they
What?
had a decent match.
Decent match.
I fucking love like the lumbar check Cedric does. That shit is just like vicious. Anything that resembles like the back cracker thing that Carlito used to do, like
Yeah.
anything like that just looks brutal to me, and I love that. And I believe Alicia Fox had come out during the match,
Yeah.
and Cedric was like kind of like back up, bitch. Like,
Yeah, they broke up. For
Yeah,
some
'cause
reason,
they
through
had
my
already
sleep,
broken up.
I heard them mention like Alicia Fox and Cedric Alexander broke up, and I'm like, about
Yeah,
fucking time.
prior to the match, they showed them breaking up, and then during this match, Alicia Fox just comes out anyway, and Cedric Alexander at some point rolls out of the ring or gets thrown out of the ring, and Alicia's like there, and he's like, he has a real "fuck is you doing" kind of look on his face, like get off me, and then he finishes the match, and then I believe Alicia tries to come back in the ring, and he's still on his fuck is you doing, back up off me type shit, and that's pretty much it.
All right.
Then
All
and
in all, then a
it's
backstage
just whatever.
segment that I didn't see, but I woke up right in time.
For the
Right?
backstage segment? Wait, you mean
The
after the backstage?
the soup was done. It came. I sat it down, and they played the package for the 3 I's: intelligence, integrity, and something else. We're gonna edit that. The 3 I's. Kurt Angle. It's true. It's damn true. And
That was
they
awesome.
announced him for the Hall of Fame. They played an awesome package for him. It was dope. I mean, the crowd was going into his song, "You Suck, You Suck."
And
was dope.
it's all love when they do it too.
Of
Like,
course. When was the last time you heard that? It's been a while. Can't wait to see him actually show up on WWE television. But how'd you feel about Kurt Angle and him going into the Hall of Fame?
well deserved, man.
Most
Kurt Angle's awesome.
Most important, do you think he's gonna come back and actually wrestle?
I don't know. It would be weird. I feel like it would be weird for him to come back after he's in the Hall of Fame. But maybe like he'll come back before the Hall of Fame and just show up at the Rumble. Or I mean, I doubt it, but and I don't even want to think he will. But
Flair does it. Flair does it. He's been in the Hall of Fame twice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could see it, but hopefully, if we're lucky, if we're fortunate.
Yeah, man. Kurt Angle. That'd be dope. After that, though, was the main event. We're going to get to Kurt Angle at the end of us talking about wrestling and what happened this week when we just give our final thoughts. But to wrap up Raw, there was a main event: Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, just throwing all of them in the same ring, as usual. All the same guys in the same ring.
Yes.
Great job, bro.
Yep. You actually peeped that this was happening weeks ago. And now it seems to be the big talk of the town is that everyone's mentioning how they keep throwing the same guys in the, main event spot. You was on it early, though. I'll give you that.
It's because Raw was killing me inside every time I had to turn it on. And just every time I turned it on Monday, I was just hoping and praying for something new, and they just wouldn't answer my prayers. So yeah, I've been on it because I've been slowly dying for weeks.
All in all, it was a solid match. Braun Strowman, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens got the win. And at the end, there was a little brawl up top by the ramp. Reigns and Rollins jumped the Strowman and were going to put him through the table, if I'm not mistaken. And then Kevin Owens came and Jericho and beat both of them up. And then they put Reigns through the table. Well, Owens did.
Owens put Reigns through the table.
Owens did, yes.
Which, to me, was great. It's the first time I felt like Owens has looked strong since he began his reign. Except now this pretty much confirms that Reigns is going to win the title. This might as well be confirmation.
They finally gave him a good look, but too late. This is the end.
Yeah. Make him look strong at the fucking end of his reign. Like, so stupid. But I did like the ending. I have to admit, I did like the ending. It was a solid ending.
Yeah, it was.
That's it. We're done. We can stop talking about Raw.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, Raw had its moments, and as usual, had its quiet moments. What they have 205 Live. They need to cut the show to 2 hours for Raw. Leave 205 Live. Get 1 hour of the UK show on WWE, and have SmackDown 2 hours as well. That it'll be balanced, and then your pay-per-views go all out for your pay-per-views. You know what I mean?
Man, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that going from 3 hours to 2 hours would help them storyline wise and plot wise and stuff like that. But I read that Raw just makes mad money in that third hour with like ads and shit like that.
Commercials.
That I doubt that they're going to do that. But even if they were at 2 hours, I just feel like think about it. Think about taking out all of the filler and just condensing it into 2 hours. That does not change the fact that we've seen the same guys in the same matches week after week. We're still watching Rusev, Jinder Mahal, and Enzo and Cass. We've seen the club and Sheamus and Cesaro like mad weeks in a row. Same thing with Reigns and Owens, Jericho and Rollins, Strowman and Zayn. Like, we've seen them. We've seen nobody new. Can you remember the last time someone new has been involved? New Day and Titus we've even seen a billion times now, it feels like.
Yeah.
Where is everyone else? Like,
yeah.
It's like you're not even trying to do anything with any of your other talent. You're not trying to, build anyone up. What other tag teams are there on Raw right now?
And then you put the cruiserweights on there, but then you put them in a box because they're division, so they can't even encounter these other people in the other division. You know what I mean? At all, it's like they're just their own little world happening backstage.
Yeah, and even the cruiserweight matchups that they do have, they're still just kind of thrown together. It seems like
quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 hours would be better. Let's move on to SmackDown. They are 2 hours, and it was a good. And 2
they
hours.
Are better.
And they have been better. And we started SmackDown off with Shane McMahon. He came out. He announced that the WWE title will be put on the line for Elimination Chamber. In the Elimination Chamber. And he didn't announce any competitors. But automatically, AJ Styles comes out. AJ Styles, he says, why would you do this to me? Not only am I going to have to beat up John Cena, but, I've never been in the Elimination Chamber, and now you're going to put me in there. You know what I mean? And then Miz comes out, and Miz starts popping shit that he not only will he claim his Intercontinental title back, but he's going to come after, AJ Styles, and he needs to get a shot at the title as well. And Shane McMahon made a match between them.
I love this. We've seen them go at it before when Miz had Styles on his Miz TV segment, and we saw they had a little heated exchange. And I remember addressing that and saying how much I like that because it's like when they mix when they have these little side plots going on. And we see it again later in the night when Ambrose asks for a match with Orton. Not to jump ahead, but Ambrose wants a match with Orton because of something that happened about a month ago. You know what I mean? And I
Yep.
like that. They have these little side things that happen, and they don't just forget about them. They utilize them in their storytelling. So I did enjoy the fact that Miz and Styles was set up as a match, and I like the opening segment. I think he didn't announce any guys for the Elimination Chamber, but I think it's safe to say that the six right now, my six would be Styles, Miz, Ambrose, Cena, Wyatt, Orton.
Okay.
Those are the six to have to me.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think there's anyone else really. I mean,
Ziggler,
you could
Ziggler.
say I don't think Ziggler. Ziggler seems to. I think Ziggler should help elevate the other guys like the Crews and guys like that right now. Corbin is the only other one that I think comes close or could be put in that discussion.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know. I just see. I don't think you could. You're not gonna have. You're not gonna have Corbin over Cena. Over.
I don't know if Randy and Bray make it.
I think they should put them in because, first of all, before we get into that and the whole Wyatt family story,
It's a couple weeks away too, so it's coming pretty close.
To me, something's gonna happen between Wyatt and Orton in the Rumble. That's one. That's the first step. Actually, that would be the second step because the first step is what's happening with Orton and Harper right now.
Next week.
The second step is in the Rumble. The third step would be to have them in the chamber together, and at some point, it's every man for themselves, man. Like at some point, the Viper needs to strike.
Yeah.
At some point, the Viper needs to strike, and that's it. Then there's nothing else except Mania, and right there, that'll be a good start to it in the chamber. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope them two are in it. What other main eventers are there? You know what I'm saying? Those six guys I named are the guys to me.
Okay. We'll see how this shapes up. All in all, AJ Styles versus The Miz, they have a good match. John Cena was commentary, right?
I thought he was great on commentary. I don't know if you wanted to speak on John Cena on commentary, but he was doing a really good job at putting over Styles and Miz. He had like great things to say about him, about how they're hardworking and all of that.
I'm gonna come clean, not to cut you off. But did John Cena come out during the whole AJ Styles, Miz, and Sheamus, or did he just come out for commentary?
He came out during it because I'm surprised we didn't even mention this. You don't remember when Miz and Styles were going after each other and Cena was like instigating all crazy?
Listen,
remember? He was mad fucking funny.
I was driving home from work and I had the show on my phone on PlayStation View and I had my headphones in. I wasn't watching, I was listening, but I got pulled over by the cops.
Talk about it.
And my headlight was out and they gave me a warning, but I got it fixed today. So I'm gonna be good.
Well, you missed a hell of a segment. I think you should go back and watch it. It was entertaining, man. I was thoroughly entertained. Cena was mad fucking funny. Like, I mean, people know Cena could be funny. So I just he was just instigating, like he was in Miz and Styles' ear, like, oh, you gonna let him talk to you? Like straight instigating, like clearly instigating, and it was mad funny. So you should go back and watch that. But Cena was great on commentary, I thought, and it was a solid match for sure. And you could tell them how that ended.
No, you can tell them.
All right, since he was being pulled over by the cops and shit. I believe Styles and Miz are on the outside near the commentary table, and I think one of them gets pushed into Cena or some shit like that, and just ends
and it gets called a no disqualification. Why? That was awkward to me. Why?
Wait, what gets called then?
Why was it called? I mean, no contest.
Oh, because they both kind of got into it with Cena.
Okay.
Cena pushed Miz. I think Styles pushed Miz into Cena. Cena pushed Miz off of him, and then Styles hit Cena or some shit like that. So it was just like, no contest. Plus, you're not giving any of them the win over the other. It's fine, whatever.
All right, no doubt.
That and the Shane McMahon thing. By the time that was over, I believe my clock said 8:35. So it took about 35 minutes. Just that.
And
so
it wasn't
already
bad.
flying through
It wasn't
SmackDown.
bad. Yep.
Not at all.
After that, Nikki Bella comes out and she calls out Natalya, And Natalia, I seen this. She was backstage, something like where the hallways were of the venue, and she was by where they sell the shirts, and she was going, "Hey, where's my shirt? You got Nikki Bella, you got Bret Hart. He's gonna die old like Nikki Bella.
Alone.
Alone." She was going off.
Yeah, she was going hard. It was. And then they started brawling and they broke a table. Like they fell through a table. I think they've been doing. I like that how brutal it seems to be. Like they're just brawling week after week. Like they're not. It's. I think it's good build up for. I think it's good build up.
Yeah,
I like that they're brawling week after week. They're not having matches. But they're just going at it, and it's not one of those things where like, oh man, we're just seeing them always fight. How am I going to be excited for when the match finally comes? But no, it's like they're just straight brawling, going at it. Like so, it's just giving intrigue. Every week, it seems like they got to be torn apart. I actually
yeah,
like what they're doing.
they're building something there. Um, And by the time that was over, it was already time for, Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton coming up.
Yeah, which, like I mentioned earlier, Dean Ambrose asked for the match because a month ago, I believe the Wyatts attacked Ambrose. I don't even know why. It was kind of random when it happened. So
Yeah,
I do like that they brought it back for it to actually mean something.
yeah. It was right after they won the belts, and basically they were just staking their claim as a powerful team by taking them out for no reason. And I forgot about it. And then they referenced it, and I was like, oh shit, SmackDown's going back to shit like that. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then you
Yep.
mentioned as well, you liked it as well, so not bad. Uh, Ambrose versus Orton was a good match. It ended with some fuckery. But yo, they had a lot of cool spots and reversals, and Ambrose hit his clothesline and off
I,
the
f-
ropes.
I
That
gotta
was cool.
say, I fucking hate that clothesline at this point,
You
and I've
do?
hated I've hated it for a while. It's just like when he hits it, the guy is literally waiting there just for him to come off the ropes. Orton
Yeah.
was standing there for like 3.5 seconds, just waiting for Ambrose to come off the ropes and hit him. The first few times it happened, it was like the very first. I remember seeing it the very first time, and it was so out of nowhere that I was like, "That was fucking awesome." And now it's just like pointless. I was gonna say useless, but apparently it works. But
Yeah.
it's just so pointless. I feel like just come off the ropes normally. If I don't know, it's just it takes so long
I
that
get
it's
what you're
like
saying.
it's stupid for the other wrestler to just wait there for him.
Because, like, at this point, we've seen his whole arsenal of moves. And there's certain wrestlers that have an arsenal for, like, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And then they have an arsenal for their pay per view matches, like main event matches, that they do pull different shit out. So, yeah, we like it and we enjoy it, but you don't have to pull it out every match.
It's literally
Every
every
weekend,
match
every house show, everything, every dark match, everything.
at home with Renee Young,
Right?
just knocking her out. No, but like with Big E, remember when he used to dive through the ropes, and it just became like so dangerous that every time he did it, you were like, "Oh fuck!" Like every time he
Yeah.
landed, awkward. And then I didn't really notice it at first, but he absolutely eliminated that from his arsenal during Raw matches. And then the next time, I didn't remember it till I saw it on a pay per view, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I just remembered he had stopped doing that. But shit like that, like we need to see that. It needs if you're gonna keep using it, which I'd rather you not use it. The wacky line, they call it the wacky line, which is a terrible name to me as well. But if you're gonna keep using that, just not every fucking week, like multiple times in a match and shit like that. I hate that
Yeah.
shit.
So
But
tell
continue.
me,
Go.
why the fuck did Luke Harper go in the ring and fuck shit up?
This one made a little more sense. Still stupid, but it made a little more sense. At some point, Orton was on the outside. Harper was next to him, and Ambrose dove through the ropes, and Orton moved, so Ambrose hit Harper. And I knew at that point that Harper was just kind of gonna get mad and be like, Ambrose hit me, so like now I'm gonna go in and hit Ambrose type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like, fuck that, this nigga hit me, I'm about to hit him. And so he comes into the ring, same old shit. So it made a little more sense this time. It wasn't just kind of random. It was at the worst possible fucking time though. Of course, Orton was ready to end this shit.
And then Orton Orton gets rolled up, gets the pin loss because of Harper, and Harper comes in and they start going at it. Oh, you did it on purpose, blah 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 blah, and then Bray Wyatt was there. Did Bray Wyatt take a kick?
No, that was last week.
That was last week. Okay, this time he kind of backed Luke Harper up, right?
This time he hits Luke Harper actually.
And then he goes at Randy and kind of like
he goes at Randy and he's like, hit me, like take your shot type shit. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
Before we even move on from that, I gotta mention because this was awesome. When Orton and Harper are arguing, my favorite. This might have been. I mean, I overrate certain little shit that I pick up on, but Orton and Harper are arguing and won't stop. And Bray says to Orton, "This is a fool's game," and that's like my favorite part. He just tells him like arguing, "This is a fool's game, man." Like. I don't know, Bray Wyatt, the GOAT to me. But I thought that was awesome. And then he has to hit Harper, and Harper says, I believe, he did this or you did this. I'm not sure, but shit is getting spicy.
Yeah, and at one point in the show, the Wyatt's music hits, and Bray Wyatt announces that next week they'll be in the Royal Rumble, and next week they'll be facing.
And I called this too. I was actually with my friend when we were watching it, and I said the best thing to happen now is Bray, as the patriarch, needs to say, you know what, y'all gonna settle this shit. And I was gonna say, and I specifically said Bray needs to set up the match. They shouldn't just have them, be announced for a match, them challenge each other. No, Bray needs to say, you two are going to fight type shit. And so that's exactly what we got. So I thought that was good. That was a good little aspect of it.
That's why they call you the genius.
Yeah, I don't believe me on that. It's fine. I don't care.
The working genius.
I do care, though. Believe me, because I did call that. I just want y'all to know.
Becky Lynch cuts a promo backstage.
Short and sweet. I dug it. I don't know if you caught it. Short and sweet.
Yep, short and sweet.
She wasn't screaming out straight fire or nothing. She was just straight to the point.
Yeah, but next up was Jerry Lawler in the ring for the King's Court segment with Dolph Ziggler. Jerry, man, I was just thinking about Jerry. I know y'all not going to believe me on this one, but I was thinking about Jerry.
I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Believe it. Nah, bro. I ain't bullshit. I was literally thinking about Jerry, bro.
I mean,
and I was like, what they going? Damn, they just straight up took Jerry out of commentary. There's 4 men sitting in the booth, and Jerry can't even get a seat. And then he comes with the King's Court. I wasn't hating. I liked seeing Jerry on the TV, especially in his gear, like his whole gimmick, like the King.
Yeah. Once I saw him in his ring gear, I was like, this nigga's about to get knocked out. The first thing I said was, he about to get super kicked crazy. I knew it was coming.
Prepared for that bump. Even though it didn't catch him in the face, it caught him like in the chest.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was directed at his chest.
Oh yeah, like because it's hard.
Yeah. They steeped very low with that one. They were steeping. They were stooping.
But then my man JBL came in the ring.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he fell first. He made sure he fell first. He fell when he got off the comments. When he got out of his chair, he stumbled, fell, and then ran into the ring. Man. So
wow,
that was.
But then Jerry got up and was like, Ziggler.
Yeah, he was screaming.
If you don't come back in this ring, Ziggler.
He almost screamed his heart to a stop.
Ziggler.
I can't believe I said that.
Well, I
said he almost screamed his heart to a stop.
Oh.
We're going to edit that out.
Ziggler!
Mad hard, yeah. I was like, damn. To be honest, I was like, this nigga need to chill right now because he putting too much stress on himself.
Get back in the ring if you have any guts.
And then, I like that Ziggler just kind of smirked and walked off. Like, right? Fuck with the kid.
Yep. And then Bray came and announced Randy versus Luke Harper. And then we had our main event, Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch in a steel cage match.
Damn, we're at the main event already. You see that? You see that?
Already.
You see how quick?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Talk about it.
Nah, you missed the SmackDown.
Okay, so how we started off. First of all, I gotta say this. I have to say this. I absolutely have to say this. I don't know if people are gonna agree, but what the fuck is the point of having the option of exiting out of the steel cage door? Give me a motherfucking break. Nobody in their right mind would ever choose to climb the cage when they could just walk out of the fucking door. It just adds a certain stupidity, like a certain unrealistic factor to the match. If first of all, if I'm in the ring, before you speak, if I'm in the ring,
okay,
and I'm on the ground, and my opponent decides, let me climb the cage, and she's sitting up at the top, I'm walking out of the fucking door. It's that simple.
I like your logic, exactly. But Jimmy Snuka hit Don Morocco with boom, and he like bounced out of the ring and through the door and won the match.
See? That's stupid. See? Jimmy Snuka should have won that match.
Nowadays? Yeah, but see, if Jimmy Snuka would have instead of just jumped the cage because he was the Superfly and got down quick. So I second your logic.
I just think it's not even like some amazing logic. Like, I love taking credit, but come on, give me a fucking break. When I see this, it's so dumb. Like, I remember as a kid, I thought like the only way to win a steel cage match was you had to climb over the top. Because to me, that was like cool. Like, you literally have to escape the cage. I don't mind the pin or give up thing as well in the match. I don't mind that. Because that's the steel cage also is just kind of a so you can't run kind of aspect to it, which I fuck with that. But just like, and it would be one thing if you needed to like undo a chain or something to get out the door, but you literally make a step towards the door and the ref just opens that shit for you. It is so fucking stupid to me. I can't take it. Now we can finally get into the match. I'm sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. So to get into the match, I don't even remember how it started, to be honest. But overall thoughts on the match before we touch on the ending.
They started off by trying to escape.
That was it?
Quick. Like, they tried to escape quick. They brought it down.
Oh, yeah, that was the first technical thing. Alexa tried to escape, right?
Yeah.
I like the match. I think one thing that I have to mention about the match is that Alexa is so small. Like, she's just so short that there were so many I could count 2 times where Becky was like at the top of the cage where like Alexa is supposed to like grab her before she's out, but Alexa's so tiny that like she takes so much time to be able to get to a point where she can reach Becky, and just to pull her down, I was like, I didn't feel bad, but it was kind of cute for my baby Alexa. Shout out. You like how I smoothly transitioned that, right? Okay, yeah, I'm taking my shot. I had to take my shot. What can I say?
Up. All in all, though, the main
we getting way off topic here.
The main reason for the main event was to expose who La Luchadora is. And I'm going to come clean. I was on the websites. I saw the spoilers, who they thought it was going to be, and it happened to be her. I think you might have guessed it was her the first week La Luchadora showed up, or the second week or something. You might have said her.
I don't remember, but what can I say? I probably did.
You said it might be Mickie James. I don't know if they got anything for an NXT. You did say that, and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, kind of looked manly, whoever was behind that mask.
I think there's a chance that it just wasn't Mickie James behind them. It could have been someone random, because it didn't matter. They weren't revealing her at that point. And if they're smart, then they don't even give us a chance to speculate. I remember saying that. So
yeah, you definitely
so that's
did say
good.
That. But all in all, Mickie James is back. That was the end of SmackDown.
Whoa.
Yo, that's how quick SmackDown goes by. But listen, just to talk about that ending, the crowd didn't pop like I thought they might pop. Like, it was kind of like, I think I didn't hear them going crazy. Like, I felt like she was kind of standing there, like, wanting to, like, crazy applause, but I didn't hear them going crazy.
I absolutely agree with you. I thought that like me at home screaming was gonna compensate, but apparently that didn't make it into the show. But no, but they definitely didn't pop. But let's bring it back a little bit because you just ran through that. The ending ends where I believe Alexa's about to walk out of the door, and Mickey James, like, or La Luchadora, stands in the doorway, acting as a door should in a steel cage match, which is blocking the way and not allowing for someone to just walk out of the fucking door. So I'm happy for Mickey James
I didn't see
playing
how
the
she
steel
actually
cage
got in the
door
ring.
there. Well, I don't remember. The ref probably opened it for her. I don't know, but she was just standing there at the door, and then she walks in, and does she? I don't know if she immediately attacks or she just kind of stands there. I think she
Looking them down.
and I don't remember. We need to start doing this Tuesday night because
Honestly, that's why I kind of went through it quick because the main event wasn't the best part. It should have been the best part, but it wasn't that crazy. And I saw how it ended. I saw how it began, but I really didn't see the middle that much. But other than that, like SmackDown was good. I'm not gonna knock it. Wrestling. This was like a filler week for wrestling.
yeah.
It was an awkward week. I was sick, man. What can I say? I got an excuse.
I saw it, so I don't even have an excuse. I just don't remember off the top. There wasn't anything that like stuck out. Like it was a solid match, and the thing that stuck out to me that was really sticking out to me as I was watching that was just definitely that a steel cage door needs to be permanent. A steel cage door need not open. Like that should not be what a steel cage door is for. It should just open whenever the fuck the person wants.
About the steel cage. That's why you don't
I just
remember
blacked
the middle,
out. I was just
'cause you were
ranting
just, like,
about the steel
mad.
cage door the whole match. Apparently, I just blacked out. I don't remember shit, but it was solid match. You're right though. They didn't pop for Becky the way I thought they should have. I don't know.
No,
Mickey, my fault. Correct. I'm just all over the place. It was a good SmackDown though. I thought it was solid. Solid like every week. What is it? About 3 matches and a bunch of promo. And I'm fine with it. It flies by. I dug it. I don't think there's anything left
Let's
to say.
get to my man Kurt Angle though. Let's talk about it.
Oh, we didn't
now
even
that we're
mention.
over,
SmackDown ran a Kurt Angle promo, but it was different from the Raw one, was it not?
Yeah. It showed him as
I thought
HBK,
it was funny as
and
fuck.
it showed a little different
I
stuff.
loved it.
It showed him rapping,
Cena,
a lot of his SmackDown shit. Raw showed his Raw highlights. SmackDown showed like his SmackDown highlights.
That. The milk truck.
It was cool. Yeah.
That was dope.
That happened on Raw.
No, but it was in the highlights.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Was it? I don't know.
That's
Maybe I'm
just
getting
dope
confused.
though. That's one of his best moments though. That's why. If it was, it was. Who cares? But they did show more SmackDown highlights on it because like him rapping and stuff.
I fucking love
that's cool, man. Like I saw that he said he wants Steve Austin to induct him.
That'd be awesome.
That's what's up. And if he was to have one more match, he would want it to be against AJ Styles.
Oh boy.
And I was thinking that too. Like they've already had great matches. Like imagine them at Mania or
They're just planting the seeds.
Yeah.
Bucket.
Yeah, man. And I was thinking about that earlier when we were in our episodes a couple weeks ago when we were doing the Mania previews. I was thinking like Kurt Angle could come back at the Royal Rumble and face fucking AJ Styles. He can't. Maybe he won't win the Royal Rumble, but that could set something up where he's on SmackDown. But I didn't mention it because I also thought to myself, well, he's getting old, and I know it takes a while to deal with WWE. Who knows what happened? So I'm not even gonna mention that because right now there's a lot of freaking possible matchups, and him versus AJ Styles would be crazy. AJ Styles with Samoa Joe sounds like a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what they're going to do, but Kurt Angle's the man. I love him. He was one of my first favorite wrestlers. Macho Man, Kurt Angle. I love Randy Orton. And for like the new generation, Rollins, KO, Finn Balor. Those dudes are pretty dope. But Kurt Angle, man, he put on a lot of classics. I watched a lot of Kurt Angle, man, growing up.
Yeah, Kurt Angle was my man. He wasn't my main man when he started doing the ankle lock. Like that was when I really like fucked with Kurt Angle, because that shit was so vicious. And Kurt Angle versus HBK was one of my favorite like matches ever. Like that shit might be
Yeah.
like all of them. Like I believe they had 3. Like at WrestleMania 21, that was fucking dope. And then their follow up was dope. Like just I don't even remember. Like I can't even really tell them apart. I know Angle won the first one in a brutal fucking Mania match where he damn near broke HBK's ankle. It was. I remember I was doing. I started just putting people in the ankle lock. Kurt Angle had me so hyped. I went to a party once. I must have been 12 years old. I almost broke this kid's ankle because not only did I do the ankle lock, but you remember when he used to like throw the leg over and fall backwards and like lock it?
Yeah.
I did that to this kid,
Yeah.
bro. He was mad at me. He was mad at me for the rest of the party.
Listen, Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle versus Edge, Kurt Angle versus freaking John Cena, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. You know how many freaking classic matches that man had? It's true. It's damn true. Kurt freaking Angle. He won the freaking gold medal with a freaking broke neck.
Won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. I never forget when he rapped that shit.
Right?
That was
Come
awesome.
on, man. Kurt Angle versus Undertaker. Oh, man. Kurt Angle had a lot of great matches.
Legendary,
man.
For real. Legendary. Hall of Famer. Easy.
Yeah. Even his TNA stuff with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and freaking all those guys, Sting and he was in like Fortune or something like that. He had like a team out in TNA with him, Sting, Flair, like you know what I'm saying? Like he did a lot of dope stuff, man. You can never knock that.
Never. I think his legacy is. I mean, he don't even gotta come back. Like, but if he did, I'm still pulling for that.
Right. But all in all, man, that's wrestling in a nutshell. On the next half of our podcast, we're gonna talk about NFL for sure. And we definitely gotta wrap up a little bit about UFC, man. So we'll be right back. And we're back. We're going to talk about the NFL playoffs. We're going to talk about the divisional matchups that just happened this past weekend and the upcoming conference championship matchups that are coming up. And first and foremost, before we start predicting anything, we got to talk about Atlanta and Seattle, which congratulations. You guys got a big win. It's your time to shine. I'm going to give you the floor. How'd you feel about that?
Felt good, but we ain't done yet. I ain't content yet. We ain't done. But I felt good about it. I don't know how you felt, but I don't know if it was just me as a fan, but I felt like it was so much closer than the score says. Like even though the score says 36-20, I felt like at any moment they were this close to striking and for us to blow. I don't know if that was just a me thing. Maybe it's because I've been in position where we've blown big leads, but even late in the fourth, like I just felt like they were that close. The Baldwin catch, just and then I believe they almost got the ball right back off of that. After that, I don't know. And then the Paul Richardson catch that got overturned, that was actually incomplete. They got downfield in a fucking second. If that was complete, I just felt like holy shit, like
Yeah,
This is really
that
about to happen.
that was a lucky call. I did thank God it got overturned. But it was like, yeah, any moment Atlanta could blow the lead, and it was kind of scary. But as much as I don't like Seattle, and if, I always guess that they're gonna score like 9 points because I just feel they don't have the power to score. Like their receivers, I don't fuck with them that much, and Wilson has been having a weird kind of season as well. This was like the weirdest season he ever had, kind of a down season, and yeah, it was just like, man, is Atlanta gonna blow it? But they had a good cushion, and it was 10 points. Like Seattle was stuck on 10 for a while. Then, like you said, they had the Doug Baldwin touchdown. All in all, though, it was 20 to what was the final score? 36. And Atlanta had a big interception that I definitely fucked it. That was like the play of the game, where the dude Luke Wilson got stripped, and then another Atlanta defender came and bobbled the ball and
Bobbled it on from the ground. He was like trying to catch it and bobbled it
yeah,
and ended up tipping it up into, I
yeah,
believe, the hands of Deion Jones, who picked it off. No,
it was
that was a great play.
yep,
I got to mention this because I got to be harder on my team than anyone else. But I don't know if you remember this, but it was about 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, or 14 minutes, and Atlanta has the ball. And I believe we're up 29-13 at this point. And the first play we run is a pass play that almost gets picked. I don't know if you remember, Taylor Gabriel was running a route on the left side, and he didn't seem to know that the ball was coming, and it almost lands right into the Seattle cornerback's hands. I believe it was Elliott, the rookie, who was only playing because Deshaun Shedd got hurt.
yeah,
And right there, like, to me, as a fan, like, I know I speak about stepping on the other team's throat, but with 14 minutes left, with our run game doing pretty well, the first thing we got to do in that situation is start the fucking clock. Get the
yeah,
clock moving at the very least.
yeah,
Instead, we almost throw a pick, which would have left them in our territory. And then the very next play, instead of just running the ball to start the clock again, I'm not saying go ultra conservative and run the ball 3 times and punt. That's not what I'm saying with a 29-13 lead with 13 or 14 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. But start the clock, at least milk 2 minutes off the drive. But instead, we on second down, we throw a pass play again, incomplete. And then on third down, I believe we got fortunate enough to complete a pass, which moved the clock a bit. But we're kicking the ball right back, and what do? They score. It's not a good fit. Like, Seattle is this resilient team that at any moment they put it together somehow. And I
yeah.
just hated seeing that. It was like we didn't learn. And when we were in Seattle earlier in the year, the the drive before Seattle went up on us and took the lead, which ended up being the final lead change, Matt Ryan threw a pick because we were throwing the ball with minimal time left in the game when we needed to at least start the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I get it. Be aggressive, step on their throat, but get the clock moving first.
On
You,
top of that, you know how we say, the NFL has their favorite teams, and you never know how the refs are gonna call it.
exactly. You don't want to put yourself in that position where it ends up getting close. Just start
Yep.
the clock. At that point, 29-13, the only thing you're playing against is the fucking clock at this point, really.
Yeah. Well, that was a good game,
Yeah,
and
whatever.
that was Saturday. We also had New England versus Houston Texans, and another team that we just have no faith in. We had no faith in the Houston Texans. They ended up losing, but was this game a little closer than we expected at,
um,
at some point?
I mean, technically, every game starts off close when the score is 0-0. So, no, I thought that was the closest the Texans would be. But it was actually 14-13 at a point, which was
Yeah.
that was interesting. But
The
I
fun,
at no point though, to be honest, at no point did I fear for the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you felt that
yeah,
way.
yeah. Dion Lewis, what a game for him.
Yeah, big time game for him.
Three
And I mean,
touchdowns,
we knew the
kick
talent's there.
return.
We know the talent's there.
Yeah, kick return, catch. and rush.
It's like
Nice
they've been
game.
waiting. It's like
Uh,
they've been waiting to unleash him.
right?
Yeah.
And then the final score is 34-16.
Yeah, I don't remember any of our predictions. We didn't even mention our predictions. I think my prediction for the Falcons game was 27-20. So
I said I was going to take a nap during this one, and I actually didn't. So, kudos to me.
I don't remember the
Brock
prediction for this one.
Osweiler threw 3 interceptions.
Duh.
He went back to the old Osweiler.
When did he get away from the old Osweiler? When was there a new one?
No, one game, last game. He threw a 40-yard pass to DeAndre Hopkins, man. Come on.
Oh shit,
That's
progress.
Big. That's progress, exactly. So there we have it. Atlanta moves on and Patriots move on. Sunday, big Sunday, baby. Those were the main event games. Kansas City and Pittsburgh got moved to 8:00. So we had Dallas and Green Bay first, followed by Kansas City versus Pittsburgh in Arrowhead. Dallas and Green Bay had the most entertaining game of the weekend. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say.
And of course, I'm happy because Cowboys got their ass kicked too. Nah, but Cowboys, they got beat. Packers, they did it again. Aaron Rodgers came up big. For a moment, it was 21-3, and it was looking like Packers were just going to run away with it. And then Des Bryant got a big catch and a touchdown. It was 21-10. From there, it was all about the comeback, and these guys went at it in the second half. The final minute was one of the most exciting minutes of football I've seen and experienced in a while. And all in all, it came down to some big field goals, and Mason Crosby pulled it out, hit 2 big field goals. The last one was, I think, 56 yards, and Packers got the win.
The last one was 51, wasn't it?
51?
The first one was 56.
Oh, okay.
The original one to take the lead was 56.
Two big
field goals. Big time field goals.
Yeah.
I predicted this was going to be a shootout.
Yeah, you did.
I nailed it.
You did.
I think my prediction was 34-28? Something like that.
Yeah.
Came out to 34-31. You already know. So far, if you've been paying attention, I was completely right about the wild card round. I nailed every single winner. And then divisional round comes around, and I'm looking like 3 for 3 right now because I called Falcons, I called Patriots, which Patriots are an easy call, granted, but called the Packers.
You definitely called Packers.
I'm killing this right now. So if you're trying to bet some money, tune into the No Politics podcast.
Exactly.
But overall, great game. That pass to Cook to set up the field goal was unreal. I mean, I feel so bad that this is the last week we're gonna see Aaron Rodgers do anything great, and because next week we ain't gonna see none of that bullshit. All right, just a heads up. But we can move on.
Let's move on because we're kind of cut for time now, and we had Steelers versus Kansas City. Kind of a slow game. Kind of picked up at the end with some crunch time play going on there where the defense stepped up. Chris Conley got cracked, man. Conley got cracked. I spoke about Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger really stepping up and scoring, but none of them actually scored this week. It was all field goals. Chris Boswell, that's his name, right? Chris Boswell.
Yes.
He broke the record for playoff field goals, 6. How'd you feel about that?
I think he broke the record for playoff field. No, I'm kidding. We're not talking about Chris Boswell, but in general, I knew it was gonna be a close game. I felt like it was gonna be a weird little game. It was gonna be a weird score. Predicted 22-19, ended up being 18-16. Hell of a game, and Steelers pull it out 4 for 4. So killed that, nailed that prediction. If you've been paying attention, that's 4 for 4 now. So like I said, get your money out. Put it on Working Genius, you feel me? But it got a little interesting at the end where they backed them up on that 2-point conversion that would have tied the game and called a holding. But I gotta say I trashed Alex Smith last week because I've seen him a lot and he disappoints me consistently. But I must say that he has some big time moments at the end of this game, and proud of him. He definitely showed up, and that was dope. But overall, good game. I liked the result. Me being 4 for 4 is a good way to end this divisional round. And 18-16 to 22-19 Steelers predicted. That's not very far off. So, you're welcome.
You are called working genius for a reason, baby.
It wasn't that, and that ain't even the reason. So that's just another reason we just added.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but all in all, yeah, it was a great weekend for football.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
I look forward to this weekend coming up. So here are our matchups now. We have Atlanta versus Green Bay Sunday at 3:00, and then we have Steelers versus Patriots Sunday. I think at 6 something, 7:00 maybe, 6:40 p.m. on the East Coast time. I guess I'll get it started. Green Bay versus Atlanta.
Yes, pick the wrong team. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, you know what? Just because I want to give you a little luck, I'm going to pick Green Bay. Because whatever I pick, got to go the opposite way.
Well, you
You know what I'm
can't
saying?
you can't acknowledge the fact that what you pick will go the opposite way and then still expect it to go the opposite way, because now the gods know what you're trying to do. Now you just fucked everything up.
Exactly. So how strong is your belief, your powers? How good are your picks? You so far you haven't got one pick wrong. Smart guy.
This is the toughest week for me. And this isn't even the Patriots Steelers game is tough for me. This is even tougher because I want to think with my head, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't want to. At no point do I ever want to sit here and be like Packers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, this is a tough one. One thing I always say is that the NFL, while people say it's rigged, I don't say it's rigged. I do acknowledge the fact that they like certain storylines more than other storylines. I think with these last 4 teams, Brady versus Rodgers is their main storyline. It's never happened. These are 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game. Right now, they're both not even done yet. And you could say that they're going to go down as 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. And it's never happened. Brady versus Rodgers in the Super Bowl somehow has never happened. I think that's their number one storyline that they're aiming for. Does that mean they're going to just hand the game to these teams? No. But if these games are close, which I do expect them to be, I'm not making an excuse. But just keep an eye on it. Obviously, I'm going to pick Falcons. I'm going to pick Falcons, and I'm going to say it's going to be about 38-34, an absolute shootout. I hope we don't allow that much, to be honest. Hopefully, it's more like 38-28 or some shit like that. But I'm just thinking an absolute shootout. Should be a great game. Should be a fun game. Hopefully, it's more fun for me and the Falcons. But that's the prediction I'm going with there.
Who's home team? Atlanta?
Atlanta gets them in the Georgia Dome, which I wanted. I think the Cowboys would have been an easier matchup, but I wanted the Packers, and I wanted to be home. And a rematch of earlier in the season, we only won by 1. That was without Cobb. Yeah. They're not going to have Jordy, I don't think, again. Yeah. So this should be interesting. I think Atlanta pulls it out. That's what I'm going with.
All right, and AFC Championship, Steelers versus Patriots. I'm just gonna call it straight. I'm not picking the Patriots. I'm going with Steelers.
See, no score prediction? Wait, no score prediction?
Nah, I'm not really too good with the scores.
Okay.
I'll give you a score prediction. They scored 35. They scored 18 on field goals. My logic behind it.
what they scored last week is your logic behind it.
Nah, I'm going 28-27.
I like that.
Steelers.
I like that. Okay, here's I'm having a really tough time with this game. If now back to the rigging thing, which isn't necessarily true, but like I said, storylines. If Brady and Rodgers does not happen, then to me it's got to be Ben Rodgers. That's Ben Rodgers to Steelers Patriots, two of the most high powered offenses. You know, they got great fucking weapons. Like when you look at AB, Le'Veon, like how have these guys how have they not been to a Super Bowl yet? You know what I'm saying? Then you look at Rodgers. This is his first time. You know, this could be the first time he's been to the Super Bowl in quite a while, and which is, like I said, surprising considering every year where he's looked upon as the top quarterback. But if, to me, the Packers are the team in those first two top storylines. But if that doesn't happen, if the Falcons win, I don't really see a Falcons Steelers storyline to play into. So it makes me feel like Patriots, Falcons, because two MVP candidates.
But overall, the Falcons storyline is they're the underdogs. No matter how good they look, no matter how good they play, they're the underdogs. So they can go up against anybody, man.
That's true. I don't know. For some reason, I can't see Steelers, Falcons. But those are actually the two teams I would pick off the top of my head. And but I don't know. This Patriots Steelers one is so tough for me because the Patriots are in Gillette, and they're great in Gillette, and the Steelers aren't necessarily great on the road. But I feel like this is gonna be a cold game. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be cold. It's dark. It's gonna be a field goal game.
What's your score?
Boswell been proving himself. I don't know. It's this one. This one game. I'm gonna say 26-23. 26-23. Steelers.
Yeah.
26-23 Steelers.
Okay. I like that.
I don't know. That's tough for me.
It's gonna be hell of two games on Sunday night.
To be honest,
can't wait.
I gotta add this. When I look at these four teams, the Patriots look like the weakest team to me.
Right?
I don't know about you, but that's just like
how
I see it.
It's hard to say that when they just scored 35, though. One of their players, like, they're just regular weapons that they got laying around. Because at any night, any of their weapons could go off and, like, take them to a W. And Deion Lewis goes off for 3 touchdowns. Who's going to go off the next game? We don't know. But I get what you're saying. Out of the 4, you think about it, and they're like, okay, they're the weakest. Because everybody else. But really, if you judge it by, last week's performance, the Steelers had the weakest performance because they only scored field goals.
I mean, but the Chiefs' defense was arguably the best defense left in the tournament, except for the Texans. But I would say that the Patriots just seem the weakest. They don't even have Gronk. I think that's going to come up big.
Yeah,
that's going to rear its head. I just think that the reason the Patriots are looked upon as still top dogs is because Belichick and Brady could balance any field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a game changer. So, but when I look at the team, I can't help but think the Patriots just are the weakest of the bunch.
I feel you, man. Well, we'll definitely recap it next week. Can't wait.
I might, depending on the result of the Packers Falcons, I may or may not be on the podcast next week. So
yeah, that's true. So we'll see. Even though I was man enough to jump on the airwaves after my loss.
No. I mean, because I'm gonna be trying to catch a flight to see the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna be cashing in my ticket, so I might not be around. You feel me? I may take that week off. Yeah, you misconstrued. You was misconstruing.
But anyway, let's move on, man. Let's talk a little bit about UFC, man, because you were able to catch the BJ Penn main event on Sunday right after football, which it was intense. And, BJ Penn faced the young dog, Yair Rodriguez, man. And this kid, he advances to 10-1. The one thing I did say about him last episode that we mentioned them fighting was that he has kicks. He's young. He's ruthless. And, who knows what could happen. It might be BJ getting knocked the fuck out. And I said, but BJ Penn, man, this is in his blood. He lives to fight. He loves it. Without fighting, he doesn't know what to do with himself. As bad as it may be for his health, you know. If anybody's a fan of UFC out there and you've seen the main event already, then BJ got stopped in the second round. But that first round, man, he took some nasty kicks, spinning back kicks and 360 roundhouse fake low kick to head kick. Bunch of nasty combinations, man. I know you saw it. Like, that was bad.
You just said if BJ Penn can't fight, he doesn't know what to do with himself. Well, BJ Penn needs to start figuring out what to do with himself because holy shit, I was scared for the man. That kid, Yair, they spell it Yair, but it sounds like they're pronouncing it almost like Yadier, which is kind of like Yadier Molina from the major leagues. But Rodriguez, however his first name is pronounced, just those kicks were unreal. They were vicious. They come out of nowhere. They're quick. They all pack so much like force. Like every kick, even if he didn't wind up for it, just it seemed like even when Penn was blocking a lot of them, but even when he did, it was almost like it still had a little effect because it just comes with so much impact.
Yeah,
and they come out of nowhere, and it was a sight. Like I was afraid for BJ Penn. He took a lot of fucking kicks and hits.
It's been a few days since the fight, happened, and
And
a lot
BJ
of the talk
Penn still hasn't woken up. Apparently, no, I'm kidding.
But a lot of talk after the whole situation, the whole fight is like, should his corner have even let him go back in for the second round? Because he's old, man. Like 38 years old isn't old, but in fighting and UFC, mixed martial arts, you know what I'm saying? Damn near, you know, bare knuckle combat. You know what I mean? Like this is not a sport you want to play around with, and especially after all the losses he's had already. Like this is his like third or fourth loss in a row, bro. And this is coming from the legend BJ Penn, the man who won the belt in the lightweight division and the welterweight division. First the welterweight, then he dropped down to lightweight, won lightweight belt, and had wars with freaking Sean Shirk and Matt Hughes and Diego Sanchez and Frankie Edgar and Kenny Florian and John Fitch, and he freaking went up and jumped back up to welterweight and fought Nick Diaz. Like, man, he's been in wars. For him to be taking those kicks, he's never faced a guy who kicked like that. This kid's 24 years old, man. Like, man, that was bad. That was bad. But all in all, like, nobody knows what he's going to do. I don't think he should have started the second round. I think his corner should have been like, you know what? You're clearly slower. And it could be a danger for you to go back in there. But I know BJ, man, he's a warrior. He would have fucking flipped out if they would have tried not to put him back in there. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you're a fighter, you got that fighter mentality. You know what I'm saying? If you're not knocked out, and you're gonna get back in there. So I respect that. I also respect the hell out of Rodriguez because I thought he was a little arrogant. I thought he might be a little arrogant, but I was absolutely wrong. He was humble. He was respectful. Went over to BJ Penn right after the fight was done. He looked worried for BJ Penn in the same way we were probably worried for BJ Penn. And that was just awesome of him. I think great fighter, great kid. I look forward to seeing more of him.
The crazy part about all that is Rodriguez is like the first man I think to even drop BJ Penn. It took like 1,000 something hits to the head before he dropped.
That's crazy.
That's a crazy statistic out there. Yeah.
That's a ridiculous statistic out there.
Yeah, it took literally like 1,000 something punches before this guy dropped, or since the last time he's been dropped. Yeah.
Well,
man.
He was dropped a few times.
But that's not funny, man. But yo, all in all, man, UFC's been heating up. We got some matchups coming up pretty soon as well that I'm interested in. Juliana Pena, she's fighting Valentina Shevchenko, and whoever wins that's going to get a title shot against Amanda Nunes potentially. So that's going to be a good one. Barclays is coming up. UFC and Barclays for the first time. We might just have to get tickets, man. Anderson Silva's fighting Derek Brunson. Holly Holm is fighting Jermaine. I don't know how to say her last name, but it's for the women's featherweight belt, and it's a new belt and a new division for women. So Holly Holm's trying to become the first woman to hold a belt in 2 different weight classes. So that's pretty cool. Barclays is shaping up. I know they're gonna announce more matches after that coming soon. So we got to see that. 209 UFC 209. They've been announcing some matchups. Wonder Boy is gonna rematch Tyron Woodley for the welterweight belt. They had a match at 205 in the Madison Square Garden under Conor McGregor. I don't know if you saw that match.
No, you're just saying words to me. You're just saying names to me right now. I don't even
Well,
know what's going on
anybody who's a
anymore.
fan of UFC, they know what I'm talking about. But on that note, I thank everybody for listening. And we're going to wrap up this episode of the No Politics Podcast. You can holler at me on Instagram or Twitter at Faking No Moves, FAKINNOMOVES.
And you can holler at me at Working Genius, WORKINGENIUS. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Snapchat. You can find me on Instagram and Snapchat.
Oh. And we cannot forget to mention, we now have our YouTube channel. So just search No Politics Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Share the link. Share the SoundCloud. Yeah, man.
That's pretty much it. Coming to iTunes soon. Make sure you show love and support. Share it if you know anyone that's interested in wrestling, sports, UFC, all that good stuff. Make sure you let them know to fuck with the No Politics Podcast. You feel me? Check that on YouTube. Check that on SoundCloud. Coming soon to iTunes. We working on that. But on that note, that's all I got.
Be safe out there. Keep reaching out to us, and we'll keep answering all our fans out there. We love you. Peace.